This is the Extra Point Podcast. During this podcast, we will dive deeper into our Sunday teaching and share practical next steps for your faith journey. Now, let's kick off the Extra Point.
Hey, welcome to the Extra Point. I'm Cheryl Ross, the Next Steps in Discipleship pastor here at Southridge Church, and I'm with Scott Beha, our lead pastor. And this past Sunday was a little bit of a break from normal stuff, but it's going to set up into our next series really well. It was a For the Future Sunday, and we use that as a way to kind of share what we're all about. But so this past Sunday, you really dove into the Great Commission, which is found in Matthew 28, and how that's what we should be about. But you opened by talking about how we naturally share things that we're excited about, food, experiences, and other things. But what do you think is the disconnect between believing the resurrection, that the resurrection is life-changing, and actually talking about it in everyday life?
So what the studies show, and this is some of the stuff I didn't get into because I had too many stats anyways. The top two reasons why people say that they have not shared their faith. Number one is they feel ill-equipped or unqualified. We're going to deal with a lot of that in the Acts series coming up, especially this coming Sunday. Acts chapter 1, we're going to get into why it is that if you feel ill-equipped or unqualified, you're still going to be able to go and make disciples. Because there's something that has nothing to do with you as to why you're going to be able to do that. I'm going to save that for this Sunday. So that's the number one thing. Most people go, well, I don't share my faith because, I don't know the Bible that well. It's like, all right, listen, Jesus did not ask you to get a seminary degree. He did not ask you to be a Bible scholar. He simply asked you, I like how Peter puts it in, I think it's in 1 Peter, maybe 1 Peter 5. I can't remember off the top of my head, but always be ready to give a response for the hope that you have. That's it. Like, you don't have, if you have really encountered the risen Jesus, all you have to do is tell people about that. It's really that simple. It's, my life was this way before, it's this way now. And the only thing that I can tell you that's different is Jesus. You go, all right, well, what do I do with that? Well, I started reading my Bible and trying to learn to pray.
Yeah.
And then I found some people to do it with me. I know that it feels daunting to say, you need to go and reach the lost. That's because the pictures that we have of sidewalk preachers and all this leaving a track on a urinal in the men's bathroom. It's like, oh, I'm doing the Great Commission. No, you're not, bro. Listen, I went into Walmart last week, or maybe it was Easter week. Somebody had clearly had been putting tracks in the bathroom. Somebody just put them in the urinals.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, laying tracks down randomly, I don't think is what Jesus had in mind when he said make disciples.
Right. Because
it was relational. And so all I'm saying is there's people in your life right now. There's people on your kids' softball teams and soccer teams and basketball teams, at your kids' Boy Scouts and Brownies or whatever your kids are into. You have interaction with them. And when the door gets opened for there to be, oh yeah, my church, or oh yeah, so you see the door open and it's just real easy and practical. And so people feel ill-equipped and all this because they're like, oh, I need to know the Bible. You don't need to know the Bible. You just need to share what's going on in your life.
Yeah.
And one of the quotes that I cut out from Sunday is there's a really famous quote: evangelism is simply one beggar showing another beggar where the bread's at. That's it. That's all you're doing. Just going, look, maybe you come across someone, they have a similar struggle to something you struggle with in your life, and you go, oh, wow, yeah, I've been there before. And you know what? The Bible has a lot to say about that. If you're okay, I'll share with you my experience with it. That's all it is.
Right.
It's not weird. It's not going up to someone and going, hey, tell me about how you've been sinning lately.
Yeah.
No, it's not weird. So being ill-equipped or not worthy or whatever it is that you think. No, that's not a valid excuse, even though that's the number one excuse. The second one, that the number two reason why people don't share their faith, that disconnect between the life-changing resurrection and sharing, they said it just never occurred to me.
Wow.
It just, no one ever suggested to me that I should share my faith. And I was like, well, box checked now.
Yeah.
It has now occurred to you.
Yes.
When Jesus is leaving this earth, it's the one thing he says to do. Make disciples. The church has tried to do everything else other than make disciples. And I'm every bit as guilty of this. I've been in ministry for 15 years, and this is the first time that I really feel drawn to this, like, hey, it's not just about what happens on, even though we've been telling people here for a long time, the sum total of your faith is not what just happens for an hour on Sunday morning. That's been our language, but some of our model and the way that we've gone about things has probably undermined that language, and that's what we're going to try to fix a little bit. Here again, yesterday or Sunday wasn't about us being really so far off course that like that's not. We saw 4 more people baptized this past Sunday. These are all 4 people that were like, these aren't church transplants.
Right.
These are people that have had an encounter with the Lord.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be this big, weird, awkward thing.
Yeah.
We do it in the confines of relationship where you're already talking to someone, and you just try to steer the conversation to Jesus in a unweird way. Like, don't make it weird.
Right.
Like, oh, it's hot in here. Yeah, it's gonna be real hot in hell. Like, no, stop it. Don't be that person. And so those are the two things. They feel ill-equipped, and it just never occurred to them. And I think that both of those feel valid to some people, and now we're going to remove all of the excuse. Because also, if you feel ill-equipped, it's probably, this is what I got into at the end of the second service. I don't think I got into this in first service, is if you don't take your own discipleship seriously, then you're going to have a real hard time discipling other people. And that's honestly, when people go, I feel ill-equipped, I go, well, of course. You come to church once a month. You've never been in a small group. You've been at church for a decade. You read your Bible twice a month, and you pray before meals.
Yeah.
That's not transformational, bro.
Right.
That's not going to, you're not ready. No, you're not going to be able to go and disciple someone because you're still trying to figure out the very basics, and you've been doing this for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. This is what the Apostle Paul talks about. He's like, we should be feeding y'all meat, and y'all are still on milk because the believers in Ephesus weren't growing the way that they needed to grow. He's like, it's time to take your own discipleship serious. And this, I've said this back, I think, in our first series of the year, but if you feel ill-equipped to share your faith, you feel like, oh, I don't know enough about the Bible, or my life is just too messed up, so I'm unworthy to do this. Listen, if the people around you are worth it, then fix it. Then fix it. Live a different life.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know enough about the Bible. You live in a time where there's more access to the Bible and more resources than ever before.
Yeah.
You have no excuse.
Yeah.
Being ill-equipped is only because you choose to be ill-equipped. People that are ignorant of the scriptures is simply because they don't put the time in. Like, those same people could tell me what's happening on The Real Housewives of Atlanta and on what's going on American Idol and Survivor. You could tell me about all of this, or what's happening with your favorite sports team. So it's not a time thing, it's a priority thing. And if lost people spending eternity separated from God and also just missing out on God's best, if that doesn't motivate you to do something different, like, again, the language from Sunday, then that means that your come and see, it's not working.
Yeah.
Your come and see's not working if you don't feel compelled to go and tell. Like,
yeah. And I wonder if sometimes, like, we've just normalized it so much, or we forget that there should be that ongoing come and see aspect that's changing us and transforming our everyday life.
Yeah.
Like, we have that moment, and we maybe have moments along the way at special services or things like that, but then we're not really doing the everyday life thing that is what it should flow out of. And we know, like, studies show that Bible reading is the number one spiritual practice that will cause all of this to flow from.
Yes.
And so I would say, like, practically, that it should be like your number one step. If you're not doing that, start doing that.
Yeah.
Because that is going to help you see, and it'll just come more naturally. Like,
it'll remove your excuse for being ill-equipped.
Yes.
Plus, it's going to help disciple you.
Yes.
So the way, if you're going, well, I'm still struggling with sin and stuff. Yeah, it's because you're not reading the Bible. Because the Bible is the way that God is going to get a hold of you and go like, hey, that thing that's in your life that you keep struggling with, I've got plenty to say and how to help you get out of it, but you're just trying to do it on your own. Like too many Christians, you got saved and then you're trying to do the sanctification, like the transformation part, all on your own.
Yeah.
No, the Lord puts His Spirit within you and then gives you His Word, and those two things work together to make you a different person. And so the Word, like having a steady discipline of the Bible will help you not feel ill-equipped in faith conversations. It will help your own personal transformation as well. And so, like, it helps everything gets better when the people of God understand the Word of God. And even though Bible reading and Bible sales are like off the charts right now, historically speaking, which is awesome, we still got a long ways to go.
Oh, yeah.
I saw a stat, I think it was last week, and I can't remember the exact number, but it was like less than 20% of Christians actually have a biblical worldview.
Oh, yeah.
Less than 20%. And I go, why? Well, that's because you're having a lot of people that are very attracted to this idea of Jesus and forgiveness and grace and all of this that don't then get discipled into, remember the Great Commission, make disciples. Then the participles are teach these new believers, these converts, all of my teachings and baptize them.
Yeah.
So it's, I'm going to put some language around this in our Acts series, but our goal, if you want to know, like, the reason why, like, if you separate evangelism and discipleship, you get this really weird thing that we've seen in the church. You'll get, if evangelism, you'll get a lot of people to raise their hand at the end of a sermon. You got churches like that. Then you got discipleship. And you'll have churches where, you know, they're not reaching anybody new, but the people that are there are strong spiritually. We need both. And the thing that you see in Jesus is, or in the Great Commission given to us by Jesus, is the command to make disciples is both. It's reach them, then teach them. It's both of them. We reach them with the gospel, then we teach them the commands and the ways of Jesus. It's both. So even if, let's say that your best friend isn't a Christian, you have a conversation with them, they're like, you know what, I'm all in on this thing, I want to give my life to Jesus. Your job is not done, it's actually just beginning.
Right.
Because then you take that same friend that you shared the gospel with and you go, let's read the book of Matthew together. Let's read Galatians together and see how the Bible tells us to now form our lives. It's both. It's reach them, then teach them. If you only do one or the other, you will have either someone that gets saved and never transformed, or you'll get someone that's really, really saved, but nobody else is getting saved because of them. You don't want either one of those options. We want disciples that make disciples. That's the language that we want, and our goal is to reach them and teach them.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to recap a couple like simple examples of how you can go and tell that you talked about is sharing your personal story, what God's doing in your life. It's in those everyday moments of the people that you're connected with, out and about at practices, you know, whatever. And really inviting people into that conversation, that relational aspect of it'll flow, it'll come. Like just yesterday at the park, I had a couple moments where it just naturally got in there. One of them actually is connected with somebody that goes here, so it was a very easy jump to talk about church. Within that, she goes to my church. So anyway, but yeah, so those are some simple things. And then towards the end, you were talking about like this redefining success and the shift that needs to happen from measuring seating capacity to sending capacity. But seating capacity really matters for sending capacity. So practically, how should that kind of change the way that we view what we do here and our purpose and those kind of things?
Yeah. So when it comes to the success of the church, for a long time, the only things that people counted, and I've been guilty of this, are what they call butts and bucks. That's what they look at that. How many butts are in the seats? How many bucks are in the bank account? That's what they look at. Those are still those metrics are not going away.
Right.
Because how many people show up every weekend is a really good indicator of the effectiveness of your ministry. Period. There's no arguing that.
Right.
Like numbers in and of themselves are not evil. You need to know that, right? You need to know for all sorts of purposes. If you had 550 people here this past Sunday, which we did, if for some reason in 2 weeks from now we have 350, we need to know what in the world went on.
Yeah.
We're not just playing a guessing game. Like you do need to know that.
Yeah.
You also do need to count your offerings.
Yeah.
You have budgets, you have bills, you have to be a responsible steward of what God has given you. Those two metrics are not going away. My suggestion is that we put more of an emphasis, though, on what really matters. And what really matters is how many people are disciples that are making disciples. So not how many people have been brought to faith because of the ministries of Southridge Church. How many people have been brought to faith by the members of Southridge Church. That's the thing that actually matters, because on Easter, 832 people show up. All we did was fill a room for a nice little pep rally if those people are not equipped with the Spirit of God to be discipled and disciple others. That's it. It's because there's no precedence. Like as we study Acts, you're going to see this. There's no precedence for like, hey, we just showed up, we sang, somebody gave a nice little talk, and then we went back and we didn't think about it again until the next time that we showed up. There's no precedence for that whatsoever. Like these people were living this every single day. It's like, they had to go out and make a living. Of course you have to go out and make a living, but they're going out to make a living. They did in conjunction with going out and making disciples. Like they turned their professions into the means by which they were going to reach the lost. They turned their neighborhoods where they had to live into a means by which they were going to reach they turned everything that they did. So I'm not telling you, your kids need to stop playing sports. No, your kids probably should play sports so the way you can meet all those families on their sports team. Your kids should be involved in stuff at their school. You should get involved in community organizations. Like if you're not currently involved, why would I get involved in so the way you can reach lost people, right? That's what it's all about. Because if you only know Christians, you can't do the Great Commission.
Yeah.
You need to know non-Christians. And so this is why like acts of service and things like this, it actually opens up doors. So like if you go serve at your local Little League or at your soccer league or be a troop leader or whatever you want to do. There's all sorts of organizations. Go volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club or whatever it might be. All of those open up doors for you to have conversations with people that you would normally not have access to.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's not about like this big weird thing that churches have always made it. Just like go get involved around some non-Christians. And then when you get a chance to share about the hope that you have in Jesus, do it.
Yeah.
It's really that simple. And so I hope that we get it, because that's the only, this is a real big struggle for me, because I was brought up in ministry under a mindset and a model. It was like grow, 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 grow. And it's like, yes, let's grow, but why are we growing? This is the first time I'm grappling with they say it a lot at the Exponential Conference that for me, I've had a good goal, meaning I wanted to grow a church big. But we have to be very careful in ministry that we're not more worried about our own castle than the kingdom. That's what we need to fight against, is we need to be kingdom people. It was funny, yesterday, in between services, I was sharing, somebody came up and was like, talking about the sermon, we were talking, I was just telling them the opportunity. Like, I think most people think, oh, we don't need any more churches.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we need a whole lot more churches.
Right.
I said, like Church of God in West Virginia, the movement we're part of. If you, first and foremost, we don't have a single Church of God congregation in Charleston. In the Charleston city limits, we do not have a single Church of God congregation in our capital city.
Wow.
And they go, oh, well, why would you want a church there? Your church is only a couple minutes from there. Because we need a gospel-centered presence all over the place. And church plants are actually more effective at reaching lost people than established churches are. Yeah. And then if you get on 79 North, from our churches in South Charleston all the way until you get to Morgantown, there's nothing. Yeah. There's not a single Church of God congregation on that 79 North stretch. If you get on 77 North headed, there's nothing now that Ripley closed down between the South Charleston churches and Parkersburg. Wow. Our whole state. We need more churches. Like, we need way more churches. And, we have to, we have to see it as not competition. So I was telling, this is where, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. I was telling someone that someone overheard it, and they go, oh, well, there's a pretty good church up in this area or whatnot. And they say, he didn't mean it this way, but this is what he said. And again, some of this is ingrained in us. He goes, that you'd be competing with. I said, oh, no, we wouldn't be competing with them. We're all on the same team. It's just 100%, like, we're not competing with anyone. Right. This is why you could come and plant a church in Charleston 5 minutes away from our church, and I'd go, yes, how can we help you? Can we send you some people? Can we send you some, like, we don't have a whole lot of money right now. We're trying to fix that. Right. But if we have something that you want, right, like we've helped out New Beginnings down in Canova multiple times. Like we had Ryan Bandy here who's planting a church over in St. Albans. Oh, well, what if people resonate with his message and go to his, awesome. Guys, we are all going to end up in the same place if we're on the same team. Right. Right. I just had lunch with Bible Center's pastor last week. Bible Center's the biggest church in this area before you get to like Hurricane. Yeah. And we're sitting here talking about, hey, our churches are literally a mile and a half apart. Yeah. They run probably, I don't know, 2,000 or something. Yeah. We run like 500. It would look like the two of us are kind of competing. We're not. Me and their pastor have the same exact heart. We want to reach people far from God. We're on the same team. We're talking actually about how we can start to do stuff together. Yeah, cool. Because it's not about my kingdom. It's not about how big I can grow Southridge Church the way I get a book deal and I get invited to speak at the Global Leadership Summit. Yeah. No, it's how many people are going to heaven? How many people are spending forever with Jesus? That's what matters. And if your name is never the one written up on the marquee, will that be enough? And here's what I love. When I was down at the Exponential Conference in March, J.D. Greer was sharing this story. And this will just show you the power of what I'm talking about. And that you need to be more about kingdom than you are your own castle. And here's why. He has a friend in ministry. He says that they talk about their weekend attendance all the time. And he's like, this guy has 30,000 people a weekend at his church. And he's like, here at the summit, we only have a measly 14,000 a weekend. And he said, however, the church of 30,000 has never planted another church. They've only grown that one church to 30,000. Wow. He says the summit, who runs 14,000 a weekend, has planted almost 100 churches. So if you look at the impact in their 100 church plants on every weekend, they have over 100,000 people represented in those church plants, compared to, this one church has 30,000.
Yeah.
So they're doing this on like real big number scales, but still, his church plants have reached 100,000 people.
Yeah.
Whereas this one church, it's like, 30,000 person church, that'll get your name on the list to speak at conferences. But this church right here that's actually smaller than you, but has planted 100 churches, is like 10x in your discipleship.
Yeah.
Because church plants are the way to do it.
Yeah.
And that's what, and the summit is also multi-site, which is also something that is on the table, I think, for us, especially with the way the Kanawha Valley kind of lays itself out. Like, and that would be what we're talking about, seating capacity, that we may start other Southridge churches in the Kanawha Valley. That way you don't have to drive as far. That way, if you're from somewhere like Elkview, it's very hard to invite your neighbors to come to a church 40 minutes away.
Yeah.
It just is. But if there was one closer, that's a whole new demographic. And why do we want to reach them? Well, because we want to reach the lost, and then we want to teach them so that way we can send them out to do it again. And this is how the kingdom of God is going to expand.
Yeah.
And this is how the first century church that we're going to see in our study of Acts, this is how they changed the world.
Yeah.
You understand, when Jesus, like in AD 25, nobody even knew who this brother was.
Yeah.
By the end of the first century, there was 50,000 people who claimed that he was God. And then in the next 300 years, 34 million people claimed that this dude was God. That's a pretty wild trajectory.
Yeah.
And they did it because every believer in the church knew it was their responsibility to make disciples, and every church knew we're supposed to be multiplying to multiple churches. It's just the way that God has always moved, and we've already noticed the mega church movement has not worked. There's nothing. If you got, the summit has 14,000 people. They're a mega church.
Yeah.
But they're sending, and they're making more of a kingdom impact in what they're sending than just if they had kept everything.
Right.
It's remarkable. It's the way that the church was always meant to be, and though we've always had the goal of growing large, now we're getting the why behind it. Now we're seeing, because we're supposed to send out. And we've already been doing some of this stuff with internship program that we've got going on. Like, so you can get involved right now in how do we multiply leaders and churches and these things by giving to the intern fund.
Yeah.
You can set up a recurring donation to help train pastors. You could do that right now. You go, okay, how do I get involved? Start giving to the intern fund. Do that. Give $50 a month to the intern fund, because we're putting, students through school right now and training them up how to be pastors and sending them out. You already have one of those at Southridge who's finishing up his internship right now. He's already pastoring another church. Yeah. Every time that something good happens in his ministry from here on out, the people of Southridge get to go, yes, we were part of that. We cheer for that. We're in on that. And then every other person that we train up and send out, we get to say we're part of that story. That's part of the fruit that our ministry is bearing. Will it show up on the bottom line of Southridge Church? Do I get to say that all the people that we had here this weekend, so the way it looks more impressive to Outreach Magazine? Right. No. But it doesn't. Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
What we need to care about is, do people know Jesus? Not do people know who Scott Beha is?
Right.
And who cares?
Right.
I'm a nobody. When it comes to Jesus versus me, I'm a nobody. And that's perfectly fine. This is why I told them, it's already happening this year, but it's going to be noticeable next year. Like, I'm not going to preach as much. Because this place can't be dependent upon me. It just can't. And you have to have time to do discipleship, and you have to have time for the ministry side of it. And they can't. So things have to change so we can be more effective for the kingdom of God.
Awesome. Well, I love that shift and that idea of redefining success. I hope that this week you have someone that is on your mind, just one person that you can maybe start that conversation with to begin to share your story and really do some of what we have talked about. We'll be back here again next week as we start our new series where we're going to give you a lot of practical application for how to do this. So we hope you will join us then, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to The Extra Point. Be sure to subscribe to the Southridge Church podcast and tune in every Wednesday for another episode of The Extra Point.